Thank you again for joining us today for our live webinar, Your Roadmap to IT Success. Once again, my name is Madison Moe. I am the Marketing Coordinator at DataVizion, and I will be moderating today's webinar on behalf of our host and subject matter expert, Ian Badeer. And now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our host and subject matter expert, Ian Badeer. Ian?
All right, thank you so much, Maddie. All right, a little microphone check. How's my sound coming in right now?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you, Maddie. My name is Ian. I've been a part of the DataVizion team for almost 11 years. I was there at the beginning when we formalized our managed services program, served on our service desk, managed the team for a while, helped onboard customers, and I've been serving in a pre-sales engagement role for about a decade. One of my passions is customer problem solving. I love hearing about the challenges you guys face and identifying creative paths forward to tackle those head on. So setting the table for our discussion today, we're going to go big picture. We're going to evaluate a framework for success in how your IT journey can continue. Now, you've probably got a lot on your mind and there are hundreds of things vying for your attention. So I'm going to cut to the chase and tell you this. The road ahead for all of us when reviewing our IT can be daunting, it can be confusing, it can be overwhelming. So if you only take away a few things from today's discussion, I want it to be this, that DataVizion is your partner in navigating the unknown, that we're going to be there for you whether you're an existing client or you're a prospect just hearing the conversation today. Our goal is to be a shoulder-to-shoulder partner with you through every step of your IT journey. And we want to help you address the unknown so that it becomes known and so that you can stay on track with your plan for success. So with that in mind, before we jump into planning this journey, we need to take some time for self-reflection really about our organizations. So as we take some time to reflect, the first foundation, that first step for our organization before we do anything is to know who we are. So we're going to ask ourselves some questions. The first one is, what are you good at? And I don't just mean you as an individual, but your organization. Where does your organization excel? What sets your organization apart in the marketplace that you serve? What's unique about what your organization does and what it offers? So as you think about those and ponder those, and you identify what those items are that are your differentiators in the marketplace, the next question I want you to ask yourself is, what items are crucial to your success in delivering on those differentiators? So as you identify what items are crucial to your success, it helps you plan for reinforcement around those items so that your differentiators stay your strongest points. And lastly, how do you picture your organization's future? Where do you want to go? Because for most organizations, we're not content with where we are today. We have plans for growth. We have plans for improvement for the future. So I want you to think about where you want your organization to go and what you envision it will take to get there. So once you have a good grasp of who you are, you can now begin to focus on the other questions related to which areas you need to review. And that's what we're going to go over today. We're going to look at 5 crucial areas, high level, that help us build out our IT roadmap. Number 1, that category is alignment and design. How do I align and design my IT to work towards my business goals? That's our first category, and we'll be diving into each one of these categories in a little bit. Our next category is service. Who is going to walk through the IT journey with me and bring my goals to fruition? Next, optimizing, managing, supporting. How do I ensure that the IT that I have isn't just supported, right? I don't need you to just make sure my stuff stays turned on, but how can it be improved? How can it be developed? Our fourth category focuses on your people. How can you help your team do their best work? And lastly, how can you protect your team from all the changing threats of the IT world? So now that we have a snapshot of which areas we need to explore, how do we find the best way for us to move forward so that we can navigate or overcome any pain points that could derail our IT roadmap? Well, first, we're going to look at alignment and design. How do we align and design our IT around our goals? Well, Whether you're an existing customer with DataVision or you're a prospect evaluating us, before we can help you align, we need to learn about who you are. We start our partnerships with discovery because a great way to learn is through asking thoughtful questions. And once we have a sense of your environment and your goals and your organization, we can review where your IT may be falling short and what initiatives would serve your business. Now, an example of what this looks like in the real world, I'll provide you a recent one. We met with two small companies that were preparing for a merger, two firms that were going to come together, but they were facing a challenge. Each of these two companies was using different software, different cloud platforms. One was on Google, one was on Microsoft, and they had different strategies for where they were storing their data. So they knew that coming together, they wanted to have a successful merger and operate as one cohesive unit, but they didn't know how to get there. They didn't know how to settle on which organization is using the right technology that we need to align ourselves with. So through discovery meetings with DataVision, we learned what their priorities were, which platforms could best meet their needs. And then we provided education throughout that entire process to help them discover their path forward together, merging from two units into one, and found them a platform and a strategy to get there. And that's just one example of how we help customers in that alignment and design phase. The next category is service. Who is going to walk through the IT journey with you and bring it to fruition? Now, when you're evaluating service providers, there are common indicators that you can use to measure their impact on your success. First, we're going to look at support. The support that you're receiving today, is it only reactive? Now, solving incidents for you it's obviously a crucial support aspect of any partnership that you have. But does your provider go beyond just reactive response? A good provider will have a mix of proactive and reactive support. And here's the good news. The better their proactive components are, the less impactful the reactive elements will be. Now, a lot of providers will use the word proactive. What do I mean by being proactive? I'm not just talking about monitoring alerts or installing patches for you. Proactive support identifies minor items that could become major ones, and it brings them to your attention along with solutions to address them. Proactive support stays on top of what's changing in IT and ensures you stay prepared for what lies ahead. Now, many organizations have pain points in their quality of the reactive support that they're receiving. So if they were to transition to a provider like DataVision that excels in providing a high quality customer support engagement, well, that's a nice upgrade. But I want you to think bigger than just finding a partner that's good at fixing incidents. You want a partner that does that, certainly. But you also want a partner that's going to help you reduce the amount of incidents you're having while also staying on mission toward your business goals. Which leads us to our next category, goal achievement versus issues. The question you can ask is, are your business goals understood by your RT partner? Are they evaluating the road ahead for you with your goals in mind? And then long-term versus short-term perspective. It can be very easy to get stuck in the weeds of our day-to-day challenges, but what we want to provide for you through regular engagement and quarterly business reviews is that longer-term perspective that enables you to make decisions that don't just help today, but tomorrow as well. This last category brings a smile to my face. And the reason is I'm sure that at some point in your life, if not right now, you've looked at your technology and you've seen it as a cost center. Our challenge together is to take the costs of IT and turn it into an investment into your organization's bottom line. How can we create a technology experience that makes your employees and your teammates love coming to work every day? Because if they do, that's going to make your team more productive, it'll make them more efficient, and it'll make you more profitable as an organization. One of the ways we help you accomplish these objectives is with quarterly business reviews. These engagements provide both high-level overviews of your environment and detailed objectives to make your business goals happen. Now, it's very common to have IT hardware that needs to be replaced, and we help you identify those items, but also the priority and the impact of each one, along with road mapping the replacements, the renewals, and what's coming soon in technology so that they can be properly budgeted. That's what service looks like. Our next category, optimizing, managing, supporting. How do we ensure our IT isn't just supported, but it's developed? Well, how do you stand out here? Because almost every provider is doing things like patching, support, backups, and endpoint protection. What makes DataVision unique here? Well, first, we focus on business continuity, not just backups. Our goal is to keep you online and functioning even when failures happen. I want you to stop and hear that one more time. Our goal is to keep you online and functioning even when failures happen. Well, how does that get accomplished? That happens through a focus on business continuity solutions. Well, what does it look like? Well, in many environments, you may have a box of hard drives next to your server to keep a second copy of your data, a backup. But if something happens to your server and it's not online anymore, what do? With DataVision's business continuity approach, we provide local and cloud survivability to keep you up and running if a failure happens. And that's a crucial difference in a business continuity focus versus just having another copy of your data somewhere. Another area is our focus on security. And we try to break it down as simply as we can into three crucial pillars. Those pillars are protection, detection, and response. Everyone's doing something in protection, right? You have a firewall, you have antivirus, you have passwords. But what are you doing for detection? How are you finding out when someone has passed your protection barriers? And if someone has, have you notified your team that's responsible for responding to those? All three of those security pillars need to work in conjunction and in a timed manner for your security to be effective. So we help you walk through this framework to help evaluate your current security and where it could be bolstered. And lastly, we seek to understand, because this is not about products. It's about you, your organization, and where you're trying to go. Your needs will determine which solutions can meet them. Now to our people. How can we help our team do their best work? Well, at small and even medium-sized companies, it's not unusual to wear multiple hats. But through a partnership with DataVision, we can reduce the burden of the IT hat so that your team can focus on your business initiatives. And we can help you find the right solutions that will enable them. Another way we help empower is through decision making. Most of us know that users are the primary target of bad actors. So how can we help those users be ready? Well, user awareness and education is a wonderful tool to help your users think before they click. And AI-powered phishing detection and protection helps cut down dramatically on the number of times your people will have to decide if that email they're looking at is safe or not. So those are just a couple of ways that we help empower your team. And our last category, protecting and sustaining. How do we do this when the threats of the IT world are constantly changing? Well, no matter the size of your team, everyone needs to be ready to back up their colleagues and, quote, do more with less, end quote, is the operating assumption for any growing company, because not every business can have an expert in every possible field. Well, this isn't a concern only for short-staffed IT departments. Historically, growth companies that fully employ technology, they reap big rewards. On average, they earn 2 times more revenue per employee, they have 4 times the revenue growth annually, and they're almost 3 times more likely to create jobs. On the flip side, the total cost for cybercrime committed globally has reached $6 trillion by 2021, according to the University of Maryland study. And the average data breach can cost a growth business almost $4 million. And 43% of hackers are targeting growth businesses. Well, any IT professional knows that networks are vulnerable to a host of threats, including those from innocent or malicious insiders, hackers, and other code. Well, DataVision will help protect your company in a sustainable way so that you can remain protected long term. So that's a quick overview through our 5 categories in that IT roadmap to help enable success for your organization. So as we recap on these, what are our takeaways? Number 1, we will be there for you as your partner every step of the way. The goal is to be shoulder to shoulder, We're not interested in vendor customer engagements where we're peddling products and solutions to you. It really comes down to understanding who you are, what you need to achieve, and how we can help you get there. And next, helping you make the unknown known so you can avoid getting knocked off track and you can plan for success instead. So, what I'm asking for you today is to take a little bit of time this week and go over what we've talked about today. Take a hard look at each of those areas and think about which areas of your IT roadmap may contain your pain points. And we'll help you navigate those, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Also put our contact information here up on the slide. So you'll see our phone number, our email that you can reach our team at, as well as our website. So I would encourage you as you go through this process of evaluation, take some time to think about those categories, think about your current pain points, and just come ready to have a conversation with us. And we'll be happy to walk you through what that journey could look like for us, whether you're a customer who's already done business with us or you're a prospect who's evaluating us. But I want to thank everyone for taking the time to sit down with us and have this conversation about IT road mapping and how it can help us enable a successful accomplishment of our business goals.